Hello and welcome to the Great Game Debate podcast, where friends come together to respectfully disagree and also rank video games. Coming in this week is, as always, the godfather of the Great Game Debate, Jonah Gomez. What's going on, lad?
Well, just chilling. We're down a couple lads this week, but they'll be back on the next show, and we got some fantastic fill-ins. So I'm ready to record.
Beautiful. And the dentist to be the first filling is, in age order, Hunter Pearson of Great Game Debate Guiden, GGD Guiden. How you going?
I'm good.
You're in a familiar location today.
I am, yes. This is actually always been my background, and Steven has just stolen it as his own all these years.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, imitation, hopefully you take as a form of flattery. I was getting some heat for how stupid my background is, which I can't really disagree with, but it does have a little child's bed and a random chair in the corner, which
just a random chair, nothing to
just a very chair by the bed,
just an inconspicuous chair.
There's nothing weird about having a chair next to a bed. Okay, it doesn't always have to be used for things other than just sitting and chatting with the person who's in bed or people who are in bed. Doesn't matter. Regardless, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. And yes, I'm gonna enjoy having an actual beautiful, like I feel like I'm inside of Animal Crossing right now, with my my manga bookshelves and all of my cool posters and stuff. I feel like a kid again. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chit chat some games and argue with you about stuff.
And trying to save us from his older brother, we've got Zach Pearson, also of GGD Guiden. How you going, man?
Going good. I can't save you from Hunter. That's just won't happen. Never been able to stop it in the past. It's not going to happen in the future. Yeah, I really can't do much there, but I can at least try to limit the damage somewhat, hopefully.
Hell yeah.
But I'm going good, man. Just exploring through Junon and getting into some Final Fantasy.
Nice. Yes, it is the RPG
Jealous.
year. And I think everyone is enjoying it very greatly. Without further ado, I'm the host for this episode, filling in for Caden Bataille Lane, who is currently in between moving and everything. So he's keeps on moving around the country. Can't keep that man pinned down. And also we're missing Mateo, and our hearts go out to Mateo. Just going through some stuff at the moment. So we love you, Mateo, and hope to see you back soon, mate. All right. And without further ado, I hope you stopped by Shinra headquarters, joined up into the army, hoorah, and got the Buster Sword, because it's time for the icebreaker.
I just made myself disappear, I think. I'm gonna flip it around.
And today's icebreaker comes in from the host of GGD Guiden, Wes, the Duke of Wesselton himself, with this two-parter, and he's told us we can't peek at the second part of this question. So we're going to go round table.
The first part.
We're going in with the smooth, unrippled brains, delving into this question. Part 1, think of your dream video game. The game that has the potential to become your favorite experience of all time and blow everything else you've ever played out of the water. What factors, mechanics, genre, aesthetics, etc. does your dream game embody? Please share with the panel. All right, without further ado, let's hear it from you, Hunter. What is your dream video game?
So, I feel like this is going to be a bit of a, unsurprising, boring answer, but Bloodborne kind of is my perfect video game.
There So you just want to remaster it on the PS5?
Honestly, if you told me that Bloodborne, like at 60 frames per second, all right, I'll go a little more in depth. So Bloodborne, Blue Point, remade, Bloodborne, like that's pretty perfect. I'm going to add at least one other detail to that I think other people won't agree with, but for me and my stupid video game heart would love is if for some stupid reason you could just like zoom into your hunter and like go into like a first person mode with like a fucking Butter Blust or like a Evelyn or something and actually be like firing like first person shots in Bloodborne.
Cool.
That would be, I mean, honestly, that wouldn't work for that kind of game. Like, there's no way FromSoft would ever put like a first person gun mode in there. But can you imagine like actually like looking down the sights of like the minigun or something or the cannon?
That would be kind of rad. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. So I'll take a Blue Point remade Bloodborne, like not even Bloodborne 2, just the original game, but with some kind of stupid ass first person shooter built into it.
Nice.
I like that.
All right. Well, we'll keep moving around the horn. Jonah, what is your dream video game?
So my dream video game is kind of something like I want a third person like platformer, but like I want it to have like really fast movement. So something like Titanfall 2 with like the movement like Titanfall 2 or something, or like old Prince of Persia, but like really sped up. I want to have like just fast action movement. And I just want it to be like crazy like Mirror's Edge like levels, just fucking jumping and bouncing around off walls, swinging through like poles and shit, and maybe some cool like sword combat mixed in. But there aren't like good third person like parkour games. There just really isn't any. So
for like a minute there, I thought you were just describing like Sonic Adventures.
He's not wrong.
Like fast-paced third-person platformer.
Let's slow it down a little bit.
Although he's like, yeah, no, actually, you know what? Give me that Callum Quinn soundtrack.
I will take the music, slow it down, and give me like actual human characters.
Third-person parkour is, I feel like, kind of hard to pull off sometimes.
I don't know how you can have third-person parkour without being a furry. That's just weird.
Well, Spider-Man has third-person parkour, right?
Yeah,
but you just hold a button. That's the problem with third-person parkour. It's like, hold this button to look cool. Like, I never liked that. Like, I always wanted it to be like, the look cool button.
Yeah.
Give us some more skill base in it. Like at least Mirror's Edge, like you had to push one button to slide and one button to jump. And
that's
Spider-Man,
exactly what
it's just
saying.
like hold the button, you do all the
right. But like maybe in the style of Assassin's Creed with a third person, because you used to have good parkour in Assassin's Creed, but it was very like automatic. So
and that's what Hunter's saying. Yeah, cool. All right, Zach, what are you thinking?
Class systems, baby. That's what I need more of in games. Is fantastic class systems. Yeah, well, not even just like Japanese RPGs. I'm thinking.
No, I mean, job points. I was meaning.
No, job points. Okay, yeah, I got you now. So yes, stuff like that. Where I always think back on Final Fantasy Tactics. I think a lot of the Final Fantasy games, but then more recently, I'm thinking about like Elden Ring. We had such great diversity within the classes of how you can play games, and it led to people having completely different experiences. Hunter over here bashing his head against the wall against something where I come in and throw a magic spell down and kill a boss in one shot. But then if I got touched, I died instantly. It's just some more class systems built into games where however you build out your character really makes a huge difference. And I think another game that's recently done that very well is going to be Baldur's Gate, where you can multi-class and build yourself out however you want. I could use more class systems in games that are more fleshed out rather than you go in this route, but the best route's to go stealth archer and just shoot people from afar. So
maybe you'll get it with Dragon's Dogma 2.
Maybe. Ooh.
They
It
have
has that
good classes
potential.
in that, but and even Superfan himself, wow, will tell you that there's definitely better
Meta
classes
builds.
in that.
Yeah.
Then like it can make or break kind of whether or not you really enjoy that game, depending on what you pick.
Yeah.
I still remember Zach was streaming and he put down Terra Magica and then just did Comet Azure on the dragon on the bridge, and Hunter was so upset. He was
Fucking
so angry.
Yeah. It's like, what you so you just press B to beat boss. It's like what
Yeah.
you
Yes.
did. Like
Took a while to get
So
there
good.
though.
Yeah. And that's it. You have to be a glass cannon for a while. All right, beautiful. And yeah, me, well, pretty much Jonah said everything except he forgot the furry part. Like,
I
need the furry part.
didn't say you said the furries.
No, you
it was
said don't
implied.
have the furries. I'm saying I need the furry.
Oh, you
'cause I
need the furries.
because I need to choke my chicken companion. So yeah.
Oh, so you want that
that's-
game, but in like a one-handed play mode.
Exactly. Yeah, phone game. Yeah.
I don't want to turn this into a furry conversation, but like I have no interest in being a furry or being with a furry, but I want to go to a furry convention in the worst way ever. Like I just want to be around them,
Just,
like in mass.
Yeah.
Like so many of them.
Get a foldable chair. You can take it. Sit there for the day.
I just think that would be more than entertaining just to witness, I mean, it's like going to PAX, like seeing like some of the people, cosplaying like crazy. I mean, you tell me that's not fun. Like, I feel like that's just all that is. Like furries are just horny cosplayers.
All right. All right. Getting this back on the rails. This is meant to be a 2-part question. So let's get into the 2-part.
Sorry.
This is just the icebreaker. No peeking until you read it on the show. Let's move into part 2. You have the power to will that dream game into existence. Here's the monkey's paw. But it means that your current favorite game of all time will be eradicated from the timeline.
Ooh.
Would you give up your current favorite game to will that dream game into existence? Also, please share what game would be eradicated. I feel like, man, actually, that is actually slightly
So
tougher,
Hunter, you would have to get
just get
rid
a
of
better
Bloodborne to get Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Mine's like a Black Mirror scenario where like it's like a mind fuck where like if I got rid of the game that is the reason my new idea exists, like would it get rid of my new idea too? So I'm just gonna say no, like just stick with what I don't want that to accidentally.
That's
like,
why PlayStation and From Software haven't done it, because if they
the
make
situation,
they have to make the better version, they have to get rid of
fabric of the universe, and we wouldn't have either. So I'll just
it would 100%
keep
be the Rockstar situation when they did the terrible remasters of the trilogy, and they delisted all like Vice City, San Andreas, and GTA 3. So that's exactly what would happen. And then you realize, oh no, I didn't realize what I had. And now it's gone. Yeah, that's hard because again, my favorite game is Banjo-Kazooie. So
nuts and
giving
bolts.
up. Yeah. Giving up the 14th greatest game ever made.
That is on that list, isn't it?
Just above Kingdom Hearts.
Just above Kingdom Hearts. To have, man, I don't know. Actually giving up Banjo for potentially better Banjo is a hard sell. Because every single time it keeps happening, someone tries to do it, they just don't quite do it. So again, I probably would give up on my dream game. Jonah?
I think I'm in the ballpark where like my favorite game of all time is drastically different from what I'm asking for.
Yeah.
Because like,
so that's again, it's a hard ask.
Yeah, because it's like, do I get rid of like Wind Waker for this weird third-person parkour game?
Yeah.
Probably not. Just I'd scrap the weird parkour game for Wind Waker HD on the Switch. Thanks, Nintendo.
And will Zach give up Final Fantasy VII for?
No, it's not Final Fantasy VII. It's Chrono
it's
Cross.
Chrono Cross.
It's Chrono Cross is the favorite game of all time, and no, I would not give that up because I already have Final Fantasy Tactics and all these other games I talked about.
Yeah.
There are games that are doing good job systems, so yeah, I don't need to give up credit for that.
I appreciate
it's a
question,
it's
the
a good
proposal.
question.
Yeah.
It's a good question, but like part of the issue is that what you're like in all of the examples that we gave, like we're talking about games basically from typically our youth or like a time like when we were like there's like a nostalgia that you'd have to be like carving out of your body like that I don't think you could do, right? Like all of us listed games that like mean something to us on like a deeper level than just like, oh, it's fun. Like it's like part of your identity. I don't think you could really get rid of that. Like
That's
it
would
feel like you weren't yourself.
It's like imagine someone could like lobotomize just all your memories of your first ever video game console. Would you do it for $1 million? Like, no.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It would be nice to be able to temporarily forget you ever played something to experience again for the first time. But
yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want to like forever
question.
forget that I hadn't played it. So anyway.
What if you forgot? What if you forgot a game that you love? Like you just went to go play it for the first time all over again, but you just had a completely terrible experience and it became your least favorite.
Can happen. Can happen.
Every
time I go back to Skyrim, I like it a little bit less. It's getting very old. Like, yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Wes. And yeah, without we might hang out just for 2 seconds. Sorry, slowing down this episode. I apologize. Let's just catch up with the Gaiden crew.
Yeah.
You just dropped your latest episode on the top 10 DLCs. I know you did go over a couple of your snubs, but did you want to, without going into the list, was there anything that didn't show up that you thought might have had a bigger showing?
Intermission.
Might have had
intermission.
I thought intermission would have. I thought it was going to make 9 or 10. I didn't think it would be top 5 or at all, but I thought it was good enough for that.
What DLC is that? Sorry.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Intermission. It was the one they made with Tifa. Or not Tifa, with Yuffie.
Yeah.
I feel like trapping it on the PS5 probably hurts how many people have actually played it.
I'm sure there's more people that
intermission.
I'm sure there's more people that have
pretty sure
played
they said
now.
you can only download it on the PS5. Was
I think it was included in the PC version too later on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it doesn't out without Xbox getting access to it.
I think most of the stuff that I thought was gonna be on there really kind of ended up like making its way to the top. What is I kind of thought that the BioShock DLC might have a chance.
Burial at Sea. Everyone talks about that one. And Minerva's Den.
It wasn't one that I really like, had any experience with, but I kind of thought maybe that one might make it in.
There was one DLC from the first BioShock that I really loved. It was just one big puzzle. Like you just had to like get a Ferris wheel to move around, and you had to unlock certain things and do little bits and pieces to get like enough batteries or whatever it was to be able to turn the Ferris wheel around. I thought that was awesome, but it was only like maybe an hour long DLC. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but the stuff that showed up in the list was the bangers. Like the top 3 is funny because there's multiple showings, but I think the number one, it's interesting how there's definitely like the big DLCs showed up in the list, but then there's like the number one was like this is a narrative like DLC.
Yeah.
It hits so hard. Left Behind hits so hard. There's no way. I mean, the other ones were definitely deserving to be there, but I think within our community especially, that hits hard for a lot of people. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I really thought, I'm trying to think, there was one other one that I was there was another FromSoft one. I think it might have been, I kind of thought the Ring City might make its way up there. I don't think that one even really came close. I think part of the problem, and this is an inherent problem with the way that we curate these top 10s, and it's not a bad thing, but it just happens sometimes, is that we turn to the community for ranking these things, and sometimes like we're asking somebody to pick like basically one thing from like their list of favorites. So I remember this kind of happened with Mega Man with robots, where you have like 4 or 5 good robots that tend to like spread the votes out a little bit. I think that happened a little bit with fans of FromSoft, where you end up obviously with the old Hunters and Artorias of the Abyss, but that leaves out some of the other really amazing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
FromSoft. So people just because they don't want to, because people aren't going to like put 4 FromSoft DLCs in their list, so it kind of like ends up excluding ones that might otherwise be deserving, and that's happened with a few of our categories. It's not like a bad thing; it's just the nature of the way that we do it. But I thought that the thing that I do think happens with the way that we do it, and we had a lot of participation in this last one, is that I do think it ends up culminating in a way better, broader top 10 that like incorporates a lot of different people's preferences than just people sitting around like making up a top 10. Like I was looking at some other DLC top 10s, and they just don't hold a candle to the ones that our community came up with. They don't,
because they're so insular in like, what have I played? Oh, I played this one. I bought the horse armor. I played Shivering Isles in Oblivion or whatever it is. It's like, okay, that's gonna go on my list just because I played it.
Yeah.
One thing I want to jump into, because me and Jonah are very ferocious about this. The new list dropped for what's going to come next month, which is top 10 arcade games. And so on the episode, this is an open debate here that we're going to have a fight over. No. On the episode, you said any arcade games, and so what do I choose? I choose the absolute GOAT, air hockey. Because that is an arcade game where you don't play it anywhere but an arcade.
What's wrong with air hockey? I haven't had a chance to look at this.
I picked pinball and Wes shot me down. Just saying.
Oh, so why are you arguing with me about it? This is clearly a Wes rule. I didn't make this rule.
Yeah, you're all part of the crew. We're just trying to work out what. Suddenly it all became about, it has to be video games. At first it was arcade games, and now it's video games, and I don't know.
Listen, okay, I will say this because, listen, I love Wes dearly as one of my closest friends. We do occasionally disagree on these kind of things because he tends to want to put more kind of parameters in place for these things, where my view is, especially with these top 10s, and we have enough people participating in them, I'm like, if it's not worthy, people are just going to decide it's not worthy, right? Like, look
at this ninja right here.
Oh Jesus! Okay, that one actually made it in. By the way, his argument with that I think was sound, because you're holding up a book and not a video game. Like, Batman has very clearly been a ninja in other mediums, but not really in a video game. Like, he's been stealthy, yes, but not a ninja. And so I tend to say to Wes when these things come up, we did not have a conversation about this with the arcade thing. I think it's kind of funny that he put that rule in place. Good job, Wes. But like, I think if people agree with him that air hockey doesn't belong in the arcade game category, if that's his point, then people aren't going to put it in their top 5. It's not going to show up in the top 10 anyway, right? Like, so I tend to say let people put it in there.
If I walk into an arcade and I see it's there, I want to drop a few bucks.
I've been to very few arcades that did not have pinball machines and air hockey. So, I probably wouldn't put those in my top 5.
I was really upset with my son. We had a good time. We went to an arcade at the casino in Melbourne, and it had so much stuff. Like, it was a new age one where you go get a card and you fill it up with credits, all that sort of stuff. And they had like the Mario Kart 4-player cab, which was broken on my seat. So I put money in, sat there. It was just like, bah! It just had a freaking siren going saying, go see someone. I'm like, my son's racing right now. I can't just leave. So I ended up getting 2 extra free games. But there was air hockey there. I'm like, hey, dude, air hockey? And he said no. And I'm like, not my son.
I have air hockey downstairs in my house. I love air hockey.
Hell yeah.
Andrew and I played it yesterday.
I haven't been able to I have not been able to talk my wife into letting me get actual legitimate arcade games that should count towards the top 10, but I do have air hockey down there.
Okay, so I think the verdict is Wes doesn't like good games. That's why he limited the list.
Yeah, Wes definitely has his thoughts on these kind of things, and I think he just doesn't want to see things get like oversaturated with stuff. But look,
It's okay. I put the basketball game in there too later on.
You know what? Love you, Wes. I'm including air hockey. I'm making a Zach and I are going to use our votes to vote in air hockey
for the people.
And if you want to go in and debate it, this is a great game debate.
Yeah,
this is what we do.
Exactly.
So
you
go debate it in the channel.
Go write out your description why air hockey should count, and enough people want to put it in the top 5. Then you know what? Wes is going to have to talk about that shit on the show. He might have a big scowl on his face, but he's going to have to talk about it.
All right. We've mucked around long enough. Let's start to get serious, and I'll hand it over to our resident chairman of the debate, Jonah Gomez.
All right. Welcome back to the debate. We have a hype factor debate. And the question in the room is hype killing video games? With Hunter representing for hype versus Steven repping against hype. We need to find out, is hype killing games? Hunter, as our guest today, would you like to start or close the debate?
I suppose I'll start it just in case we're arguing entirely different points on this.
All right.
Then it'll be confusing when he responds to it.
And then contestants, just to let you know, we have an assist trophy today, which will be Zach, and you can pop him at any point during your debate for an additional 30 seconds. Without further ado, Hunter, are you ready to debate?
I am. I'm not sure if I'm going to be popping Zach, but I might ask for his help. We'll see.
Okay.
Popping Zach sounds weird wording.
It's like popping is it. Just gotta get it out sometimes.
You kind of popped the assist trophy in Smash Bros. That's kind of where it came from, but
I'm used to asking for his help, so this should be okay.
Okay. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know why there isn't a book called 'Twas the Night After Christmas? It's because even if you got a brand new Xbox 360 with a 320 gigabyte storage attachment, a copy of the greatest Xbox 360 game ever made, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and you spend all day cobbling together vehicles that are going to impress your parents so damn much, there's just something missing from Christmas night. There's an empty space in your heart where excitement used to occupy, right? Hype is what pushes the entire industry forward. It's what causes me to purchase games that I might not even ever play. Like, I spend money on stuff I don't even play. Gaming conventions are meccas for hype. Can you name any major convention where you go play games that are already out? No, of course you can. Because it's all about what is coming out, what is the hype. I don't know if you watched the last episode of Gaiden, but we had hashtaginess hyping up Dragon's Dogma 2, and that comes out in a couple of weeks. And you want to know, on that day that it's released and he's so excited to play it, you know what he's going to do? He's going to put up a picture of himself looking at a computer monitor with glasses on that have Dragon's Dogma 3 in the reflection, because he's going to already be starting to hype Dragon's Dogma 3. Okay, and that's a good thing. All right, so in closing, not closing, because we're closing the debate later. I'm just wasting time now, just rambling on because I got some time. But hype is where the excitement comes from. That's where all the joy and passion comes from. It doesn't matter if like a game is not meeting your expectations. It's still so much more fun to get excited about it than it is really anything else. And if a game is great, that's perfect. But if it's not, the hype is still there.
God damn, if that isn't like a stellar opener, I don't know what is. That was fantastic, Hunter. Steven, you've got 2 minutes on the clock, man. 3, 2, 1, debate.
So Hunter, certified edger confirmed. Maybe one day he'll enter his goon phase. All I could say about hype, and I brought up this debate because the internet is just an absolute wasteland. Hype kills video games because we expect too much. And so this is why I wanted to bring up this debate. The idea of hyping up a video game is great in theory, as long as you can keep yourself in check. And you know what the internet cannot do is keep themselves in check. They cannot keep it 100. All they want to do is talk about, this game is going to have this and this. Oh my god, they showed a screenshot of that. Oh my god, it's going to be this. Then the game comes out, and you know what you get? Did I peek my mic?
Yeah,
I was just saying nothing. Anyway, the thing you get at the end of the day is disappointment. Like, you just get the ultimate blue balls with no payoff because you just overhyped the game. You didn't just actually... Like, watching marketing is fine, 100%. Watch trailers, all that sort of stuff, get an idea of a game, but just overhyping it, overcomplicating it in your mind, you get this false narrative, and then you go and attack those companies when they don't release what you just envisioned in your head. You trash on companies that have put a hell of a lot of time into their video games. And worse than that, if it is a huge exclusive game like a Sony game or whatever, an Xbox game, then there's the Sony ponies come out and the Xbox come out and, ooh, your game's trash. Oh, look at that puddle. Oh, that puddle looks like shit. Oh, it's not even HDR. You should look at our puddles. Our puddles have fucking water in them. Oh, fuck. Hype just kills video games, man. It kills my enjoyment. I just want to play games.
Time. God damn, you both coming out the gate real strong. Zach, how are you feeling about this debate so far?
It's popping off. They both have great points on things that I like to be excited for a game coming out, but also we have been trashed by so many. So they're both coming out hard here. I like it. I like it.
Oh yeah. All right, let's go into round 2, our rebuttal phase. Hunter, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Okay. So, for starters, I just want to say edging is a young man's game. I haven't edged in years, but thank you for giving me that vote of confidence that I could still do that. I just wouldn't say that it's the hype that you're upset about. Like, it's not the hype of the games that's killing it for you. It's the people who basically make a living off of shitting on your dreams. So there's a problem. There's a thin line between good criticism of a game that should exist and just negativity for the sake of attention, which is rampant online, right? So like if you ever like watch streamers that make both a top 10 list of their favorite games and a top 10 list of the games they hated the most, the hated ones always comes on top. People are drawn to the negativity of it. So I don't think that it's the hype that made it that way as much as it just feeds into their need to basically destroy games for you. And, you know, that is a problem. I agree that is a problem. I have a big problem with those people who do that like talk about puddles and Spider-Man and all that, but that didn't make Spider-Man a bad game, right? And what are we really talking about here? Like you called it blue balls, but I think what we're really arguing about here is the difference between pre-sex anticipation and post-nut clarity. I think you're a post-nut clarity, right? So they're both valuable in a way, but I'll argue that the anticipation is way more fun, right? Because, you know, the real thing is awesome, but like not always satisfying to everybody. And it does tend to leave people a little disappointed at times, but that doesn't mean that you didn't have a lot of fun thinking about it coming up, right? All right, I'll leave it at that.
Right, leaving 5 seconds on the table.
Yeah.
I was not expecting so much sex comparison to video game hype today, but
have you talked to me before? And Steven, I mean, you have Steven and I arguing about anything, it's going to devolve into probably exactly that. So it's your fault.
All right. Let's go into our second round. of the rebuttal. Steven, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Just Hunter taking his notes from his chair in the corner. No. The other night, much more enjoyment. There was much more animation going on. So, I am talking from a state of post-night clarity because I want to live in the real world. I'm not some freaking whatever pill people are all the freaking on the internet. I just want to live in the real world. I'm so sick of people being so like chronically online that they can't have a real conversation with people. Like, my favorite video games all have issues. But again, the reason why I'm saying hype kills video games, what I'm trying to explain here is that if I go in with less expectations, I have more to gain. And that's why I'm saying just getting caught up in the hype cycle more often than not leads you to disappointment in the long run. If you can see a great video game and go, that looks awesome, I'm going to check it out, or maybe I'm going to wait for reviews, see what people think, or just take a more a softer approach to it, just a more measured approach to it, then you're just going to enjoy it more. And like if you take a little bit more time, but the whole pre-order mentality and like online video game discourse is all about like, choosing what sides you're on and all that sort of stuff, making sure you're buoying up like whatever team that you root for, without like thinking about the context around it. This is one of my biggest things to showcase it. I saw the first initial like trailer for Breath of the Wild, and it was a demo teaser in the background of like Aonuma's like script or something, and it was just like a horse like riding around in an empty field. I'm like, man, that looks kind of boring, and damn was I amazed when Breath of the Wild came out.
Time. Good rebuttal. All right, just a reminder, gentlemen, you both have your assist trophy. If you'd like to use them on this final round, you can. But before that, Zach, you still feeling even keel on this one between the two?
At the moment, I'm actually leaning towards hype for game, which is weird for me because I am more of a pessimist on this, where I don't like to get my hopes up on games usually, but Hunter is bringing some great points here on just like how giddy it can make you feel when you see something that's really getting you that point where you're like, I gotta do this, I gotta see this as soon as it comes out. So.
All right, let's go into our final round. Hunter, would you like to use your assist trophy at any point during this debate?
Do I have to tell you now, or can I just spring it on you?
You can spring it on me. I'm just going to add the time to the timer, so I'm ready for you to spring it on me.
I'm going to use it, yeah.
Okay.
I'll use it.
All right, Hunter, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
All right. In closing, there's a brewery in my town. It's called Midnight Brewery, and they make a beer. It's called Christmas Morning. It's the reason why they don't make a beer called Christmas Evening. Again, because Christmas Evening is not as fun. You know what you got. The anticipation isn't nearly there. Like, you've lost a childlike experience. The anticipation of a game, the hype, the excitement is the inner child in you, like just coming out. And the disappointment and the criticism and the negativity is the adult. And maybe it's more realism, more realistic, but still, it loses some of that appeal. And there are games that have been, overhyped that weren't maybe great when they came out, but, people stuck with them. The Destinies out there, the Cyberpunks, No Man's Sky. I'm going to take this moment. I'm going to use my A Bitch trophy.
All right, you've got 30 seconds. Ready, set, go.
I am not your bitch. Let's start off with that. Okay, so for me, one of my favorite things is seeing the people around me get really excited about something and get really happy about it. The biggest happiness moment I've seen in the past year was Brad Russell playing Persona 3 because it was hyped up for him so much. And that was just an amazing moment to see that smile spread across his face.
Go ahead.
Do I still have time?
Yeah. You got a whole minute.
A whole minute. Okay. Yeah. So, like my sex life, I'm not going to be able to fill that entire amount of time, but I will say again that even if a game turns out to not be super great, that can't take away your excitement for leading up to it. And, sometimes they do work through those kinks and, what you expected it to be comes out in the long run. But the games that really do get you excited, the stuff like Elden Ring,
30 seconds.
that does meet your expectations, all of that hype only added to it. And the hype also in a timeline. You make a hype timeline, it's like this, right? It's like this. And the amount of time you actually spend playing the game is like that. Like here's The Last of Us 2 hype versus The Last of Us 2 playing the game, right? So the hype lasts way longer and you get to have fun with that for a lot more time. And I think that's important.
That's it. Leaving 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1. There, I finished.
All right.
5 seconds, that's a new record.
Yeah, woof.
All
That's what I
right.
like to watch.
Steven, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. Are you going to be using your assist trophy?
I think I'm going to close out with my assist trophy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll be closing out the debate today, okay, Zach? All right. 2 minutes on the clock.
I'm good.
3, 2, 1, debate.
So, again, I'm just going to reiterate, and I'm actually going to bring up the point that Hunter had said, and of course I've already forgotten it because sex jokes just abounded in the last few minutes, so that's just what happens. About the idea that you're saying that it's not the hype that is hurting the video games, it's the people around it, but the world, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Cause and effect. Hype is the cause, and then the horrible Morlocks come out of the sewers, like your Hans Mole Man under the ground. But yeah, the problem being, if we oversaturate the hype market, which I'm not saying like it's all bad. Like obviously, being excited about a video game is cool as shit. The problem is the effect, and the effect is that these idiots just come out and they just ruin it. And it's not even just the idiots that are like, oh, I hate your game. It's also the idiots that go and leak the script of The Last of Us Part 2. And then again, just this entire cavalcade of freaking Gamergate people and whatever are like, oh my god, Ellie's gay. And it's like, you clearly didn't play Left Behind, the greatest DLC of all time. Check out freaking GGD Guidance Top 10. But the fact that you have literally hurt an experience, and it makes every single person, and everyone knows this about video games releasing,
30
is
seconds.
that no one can control themselves with their hype, and that hurts everyone on the internet because they go, oh, see ya in a month, I've got to go play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because everyone's going to jump on Twitter and spoil it. Like, that is what I'm talking about. Hype is killing video games because it ruins the fact that you can't just go to a safe space and just express your opinions. Oh, this is so cool. Either someone yells out, oh, you're doing spoilers, or people are actually literally spoiling video games, putting freaking movies on Twitter and stuff like that, and just ruining experiences. That's why I'm saying hype kills video games.
All right, go ahead, Zach.
So, I've lost trust in a game maker before. That was the people at BioWare for Anthem. I was so hyped for this game due to my love of Destiny that I pre-ordered it and got the entire EA pass where I could play whatever they had just so I could play it like 2 weeks early.
15 seconds.
And I was so utterly decimated with every single moment of that game that it made it so I could no longer enjoy a game that I was hyped for a long time. And that's just the company's way of making it so that they don't get what you need.
Oh, man.
Shout out to BioWare for falling on that sword early, because now we just didn't trust Suicide Squad. Like, from like the longest distance away, we're just like, oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, we can definitely spot that game from a mile away now. We had a whole segment on our show about why Helldivers 2 is getting that kind of game right, and everybody else is, most other people are not, most other devs are not. And yeah, agree with that point.
All right.
The hype came from the peak. Like, that didn't, it wasn't fabricated. It was,
organic.
It was water cooler talk.
It was, as they put it, earned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They are earning it. It's not. It doesn't come from some fake place of like the
You're
fake
gonna like
hype.
shooting things that are purple.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, as our assist trophy, I want to hear your thoughts on the debate and get your vote.
I think both brought great ideas, great points for both sides of the topic of getting hype for games and how joyful that can be in the entire process of getting your mind like, I gotta have this, I gotta want to play this. It makes you feel happy. It brings out that dopamine rush for when you want to play a game that's coming out. Also with the effect of companies or people overhyping games or releasing things early and leaking stuff, it can ruin the experience for so many people. So I think that that's a very big detriment to our to just the gaming community as a whole, and it does force us to lose trust in some of our game producers and some of the people we try to trust on media when they are releasing things or saying things that are hurtful to us as a whole. I think that both of you did a really great job. I think I'm a little bit more of a hype fan, so I'm gonna go with Hunter on this. That I am hyped about video games.
Sorry, I called you a bitch.
That's all right. I'm used to it. I know you're an asshole, so I deal with it.
All right, well, it comes down to me, and honestly, Hunter, Steven, you both, oh my God, this was a very insightful debate today, and I'm very impressed with both of you, even past all of the sex talk that was brought in with it. That being said,
Christmas morning is a strong freaking.
It really is.
Play. Yeah.
But like what you guys kind of said about like Helldivers, like you can have Christmas night too and have it be enjoyable. I think one point that Steven brought was that a lot of the internet is very toxic, and there aren't a lot of safe places online to get hyped about games and have enjoyable places, which is like a main part of us creating the Discord and the podcast, for it to be a safe place for people to come hang out, talk about games, and not worry about getting bashed on for liking something, or expressing who you are through this medium that we enjoy. That being said, I'm a hype man all day. I love getting hyped about video games. So my point's going to go to Hunter. Steven, you represented it so freaking strong. It was very, very close. Congrats, Hunter. You killed it, man.
I felt like I had the easier side of this argument. I thought Steven definitely brought some very good points, and I do agree. And I think I didn't come on here planning on going out of my way to promote this Discord that I love so much. But it's true. Like, this is why I'm here, and I don't do much of other social media, because I guarantee if I went to like whatever Twitter X right now, even the people that I like there are going to be like writing things like, why can't you just let people like what they like?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. You shouldn't have to
those
write
kind
that.
of right. Like, you shouldn't have to have that conversation. Like, that should just be something that like decent gamers enjoy on their own, like, and can come to a place like this and get hyped about something and have other people share in that hype, and still at the end of the day have valid criticism of something, or maybe be disappointed in something. But you can definitely have both of those worlds exist together in one place. And that's why I just feel like it's a lot more to do with just negativity and people for some reason being drawn to that. I don't really get it personally. We try and keep that negativity almost entirely out of GGD Gaiden for that reason. We don't do like top 10s of like worst things, because we don't really want worst things. We want to talk about the good stuff. So we're gonna keep doing that.
Here, I got a good top 10 for you, and it's a little bit of steal from our buddies over at Draft Punks, but top 10 good game, bad name.
That's a good topic.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how in depth we'd be able to go into a conversation about that, because we
just the
could
name,
spend
yeah.
like 5 to 10 minutes talking about it. But there's definitely a lot of good examples of that. Although I will say that we talked about it this last time. I think Unicorn Overlord may be my favorite name of a video game in a long time.
That's really good too.
That's a good name.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that Positivity won out the day. I was just thinking, I didn't even think about the angle that Zach took right at the end with like about a video game under delivering, not on like almost on purpose or like lying. Which like if I had brought up No Man's Sky, that is 100% Christmas night because all the good stuff came later, much
Way
later.
Yeah.
And it was all hype about the greatest freaking sci-fi game ever made with a bajillion planets, and you'll never be able to meet anyone, and maybe you could see someone if you find the same planet, and then everyone, oh, we're on the same planet, oh, they're not there, oh yeah, because we don't have multiplayer yet.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, no,
well, that was
that's
fun.
awesome.
That's the good points. Zach, you did a good job too. Proud of you.
Thanks.
With that, we'll go on to our last debate that we had, which was, oh my god, I forgot it was me. I was debating for the best companion character representing Midna from The Last of Us, from The Legend of Zelda,
Nice.
Twilight Princess, versus my homie Austin representing Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite. I won. Yay! I won. It was 12-5.
What?
Yeah, Austin, you did a fantastic job debating on that episode. I'm surprised I won, honestly, because I thought he did such a good job on that episode.
Yeah.
He did a good job. I watched that episode. He did a very good job. But that might be one of those too that, not all somebody who's like a stats guy, like it's like not all of the variables really come into play all the time for like an equal footing. People probably have played Twilight Princess more, or like
maybe. It's interesting because I feel like it's such a weird thing. Every single time I hear someone bring up BioShock Infinite, the polarity has changed. That's one of my favorite games of all time. And then the next person says, it's just so verbose and it's just so wanky and it's up its own ass and whatever. And it's and that's just every single time. It's like I never
there's
get
no
like
middle ground.
There's
nobody that's just kind of meh on the game. They either really like it or they really don't. Yeah.
I didn't really like that. I didn't get through very much of it. I didn't like it that much.
Yeah,
so I'm more on that side of it.
Yeah.
I don't think you get that nearly as much with Twilight Princess. I think most people who played that enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most people do like Twilight Princess, even though the intro sucks.
With that, we'll move on to the pitch.
All right, welcome back, and it is time for the pitch. And today, I will be stepping up to the pitcher's mound first. With the game I have been recently checking out. So if Jonah wants to set up my time,
I got 2 minutes on the clock for you. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
Jonah pretty much explained my game already in his perfect video games. I have just recently been playing a game where you are doing just the exact same thing as what Rip Torn was telling me to do back in Dodgeball, like dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. Like this game is all about movement. It's about jumping, double jumping, air dashes, kicking, high jump, cancel, backflips, to air kicks. It's just the movement is incredible. There's this cool mechanic where climb up a pole and there was an air bubble. I'm like, okay, what's that? Do I need air? Am I going underwater? Dude, you jump into it and it's almost like getting a Mario star in the fact that you hold onto this power, and what it allows you to do is just have an awesomely long air dash that you can hold onto. As long as you don't press double jump, you can hold onto it for about like 10 odd seconds, and then you can just use it when you need to get across a gap that you just couldn't otherwise get. So you do like a bunch of really tight platforming, and then you find a gap that you could never make normally, and then you just do this boom, and do this massive like air dash with their awesome sound effects. Really cool music in this video game. I've only just been starting playing it, and there's already been an awesome boss fight that took me about 3 odd goes just to fight the first like mini boss, just to get a key. Like, it wasn't like, oh my god, I got this new unlocked power. It was literally just to get a key. I had a boss fight, and I found out in the game that it's got the Hollow Knight system where you build up meter, and the cool thing about the meter is you can use it as health like in Hollow Knight, but the other part of the meter is the more meter you have filled up, the higher your attack damage is. So the cool bit about it is the risk reward is that you use attack damage for health, and then you're weaker again. So it's cool balance.
Awesome pitch, man. The game sounds sick. And you said it's got like great movement, and just like awesome music. I think I'm in. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Game's $5 Australian, so even less.
Oh. All right, Hunter, how are you feeling?
I mean, the $5 part sounds appealing. You know, as was pointed out to me earlier, I don't even remember if it was in episode or just chit-chatting beforehand, but apparently since Bloodborne is my favorite game and you really don't jump in it, I'm just going to say jumping's overrated, and double jumping is doubly overrated. So
I think we've got a new debate on our hands.
I mean, what are you even jumping on? You know, air molecules. This doesn't make sense. I like for the jumping mechanic to require you to sprint and then tap a button that is normally not jump to jump. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna pass, because that just sounds like way too much jumping for me.
Nice. All right, Zach, how are you feeling?
I actually know a little bit of what Steven's talking about, and the game does look interesting to me. Question on it: is the music kind of like classic, or not classic, but like old school, like PS1, PS2 vibe music, or like?
Yeah, okay. It's very MIDI. It's very bit some lo-fi sort of beats in there as well. It's got a little bit of that wave as well. But yeah, some really cool N64 PS1 era inspired tunes.
Can it hold a candle? Can it hold a candle to the GoldenEye pod music though? Can anything hold a candle to the GoldenEye pod music? That is
a really high bar. I mean, that's like the best Paul's music. Top 10 Paul's musics, and that's on the list.
That's got to be on the list. That's...
Oh yeah, that is No, it can't hold a candle to GoldenEye's pause menu for sure. But it's been charming so far. So yeah.
All right, really I'm still in. What game have we bought?
Yeah.
You have bought Pseudo Regalia, which was literally just posted today by Caden saying he's been playing it, and it just said all of the words that I needed to hear. So I go quickly onto the Watch You're Playing app. Yeah, his checklist was speedy slide into long jump into backwards high jump, ground pound into high jump, chain wall jumps, kicks, cancel wall kicks into backflips for extra height, wall running, enemy step. It's just like,
you know,
that sounds like Mario Odyssey.
Exactly.
Mario Odyssey is exactly what I was asking for in my dream game.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It feels so good to play. And I know the funny thing is, behind the scenes, Jonah's already seen what it looks like. He doesn't like N64 like graphics, but man, it plays so good. It plays so damn good, and it feels like responsive, especially in the boss battles. So yeah. It's well worth a look for like probably $4 US or something. You know,
graphics aside, I do think the game looks fantastic. Like, it looks like a very fun game to play.
Yeah. And I will say though that I do think jumping in video games is better than in real life. I like that more.
Much better. Oh my god.
All right, Zach, are you ready to pitch us a game?
Let's go.
All right, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
Man, we're talking about music, and I get right into where I want to go with my pitch. So, I know that Jonah over here likes music that's been curated for him, such as Mickle and Game Chops, and likes kind of that lo-fi music. I'm pretty sure Steven is kind of on the same vibes. Hunter, I would assume you would enjoy it. I don't know 100%. For some reason, I don't think you would. But I think you might enjoy this game because it's one of our favorite topics on the guide, and it is a Petroidvania where you can die in one hit.
Oh.
It's also not a super
Damn.
long game. It will keep you for probably about 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh.
So you got it's not going to take up a ton of your time. It's a great, fun little one. You play as this cute little sheep as you're running around. And I was talking about the music being fun and curated. It's all from this one guy who is known on YouTube for curating lo-fi and synth music all over YouTube. And it's his first foray into making a video game, but it has all of the good Metroidvania feels that you get with the platforming, moving across quickly. But even with the boss fights, you have to be pretty precise on some of your movements. But for the most part, it's not going to kill you too often. You can get around things pretty easily. My kids have actually been playing this and enjoying it immensely. And also, one of the best parts about it, it's free.
Oh.
And I will rest my case there.
All right, leaving 35 seconds on the table. What a pitch, man! Short and sweet. I love it. I'm in. It sounds sick. Take my free money. Thank you for pitching a game because I'm broke.
I think the idea that it's only like an hour long is a smart idea for something where you die in one hit, because at least you don't get that upset if it was a 10-hour experience. I'm like, oh man, I've died 57,000 times. Like I'm personally not a Super Meat Boy Celeste player, so having it be brutal but short and sweet, I think I'd definitely be into this. Hell yeah. And free. Can't say no.
All right. My turn, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Hunter, it's your turn.
Thank you. We're all just.
He always has to
turns.
wait for. Yeah, he has to wait for commands. Yeah.
I don't know. I had to host one show, and now I'm confused about hosting. So I think, Zach, is this what you sent us music on? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm 100% sold on this. I didn't even know it was free, and Zach will tell you that sometimes he sends me like music, like he'll send me like anime mashups, and I'm like, this is the fucking worst thing I've ever heard. I was like, I wish my ears didn't exist anymore. But this particular one he sent me was freaking awesome. I mean, crazy good. I was very, very appealed by it, and the fact that the one hit death thing I definitely love. We talked a lot about Jusant on our last episode about not being able to die or having any danger, and I just can't handle that in a lot of games. Like I can't handle no danger. So give me one hit death, give me short, give me Petroidvania, which I'm trying to get that term to like stick. So y'all got to help me with that. So like if it's like a Metroidvania featuring an animal, it's a Petroidvania.
Oh, okay. I was
I was trying to work it out. I was like, is it petrification? I was
what is Petroid?
We had Gato Roboto. We had we talked about Biomorph. Yeah.
There's a lot of like Metroidvanias featuring animals kind of randomly popping up, and so I'm like, why not Petroidvania? I don't know if a sheep fits that. I mean, maybe a sheep's like a pet to people in the Midwest. I don't know, but anyway, definitely sold on this one. I will play a short game. I can die in one hit with that music. And when he says the name, I don't know if you can put a link to it or whatever, Zach, or give them a link. Go listen to this. It's crazy.
All right,
it's not what you're expecting. It's not what you're expecting. It's
Zach,
good.
send me a link and I'll get it in the description for the show for sure.
Will do.
So I guess what have we got, and where do we buy it, or where do we not buy it?
So this is Sheepy, a short adventure, and you can find this on Steam. It is
this is good game, bad name for you.
Well, the reason it's Sheepy is because the actual person who created the game, who made all the music, and is the guy who curates music on YouTube, is called Mr. Suicide Sheep.
Oh,
and so he made all the music for the game. It is fantastic. You can go just listen to the soundtrack on YouTube.
Still a bad name.
It's it's free. You can go play it. It'll take up 45 minutes.
Just to listen to the music.
That was the pitch, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Now let's move on to the game. Welcome back. We are heading into our final segment of the GGD podcast. It's time for a game, but today I just wanted to do whenever we get a new guest on, I really want to just keep on adding to the old GGD, Great Goat List. So we're having a little GGD list micro episode where we're just having our guests, Zach and Hunter, adding to the list, and the added chaos factor where they can choose one game, only one game between them, to bump up the list. That
or down.
A bit
You can move a game down too.
Respect. Oh, all right, we can move a game down too. This is already the old Chamblays, like the draft punks. So, without further ado, this is Summer Vibe. And Zach, I'm going to throw it to you. What game did you think of that is just an absolute GOAT contender that just gives you summer vibes?
Oh, this was easy. It's Chrono Cross, baby.
Okay.
There's no way. It's no way it wasn't going to be Chrono Cross for this one. It's nothing. You start off the game on a little port town on the beach. You're going around with like summery tunes that are playing in the background. Yeah, this is a summer vibes game through and through. Absolutely.
Damn. All right, that is awesome. I'm adding it to the list.
There's no way I was also not going to put Chrono Cross on this list. I had an opportunity to.
Yeah, and it just fell into your lap too. We didn't discuss many themes. We just went straight into this one. Damn, hole in one. All right, Hunter, summer vibes. What do you got?
Whew. I was having a hard time deciding between whether I wanted to go with a game that was more pure summer vibes or one that I thought might exist on this list near the top for longer. But I think in the spirit of sticking with the theme, which I think is more important here, I'm gonna go with my more summer vibe pick and say Sunset Overdrive.
Ooh, that is a good summer vibes game. Oh man, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, that game screams summer vibes. I mean, there's top to bottom. It looks hot. It's like beachy. It's it's like summer, like carnival going on. I mean, there's nothing, like, all the colors are just super bright and everything just literally pops. Like, even the word pop like appears on the screen. Like, it's and just also, all in all, one of the great games, like an underappreciated game. You know, it didn't get released on very many. I think it only got released on the one console, right? So did it make its way somewhere else?
Xbox One.
It's on PC now too.
It's on PC. Still didn't like get into enough people's eyeballs, but that game is super summery and very, very fun.
Crazy that one of Sony's now strongest first-party developers made also one of the strongest games on the Xbox One.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's definitely up there. God, just so much fun to play. I feel like I'm going back on my, like, I don't like jumping in video games with this one because this one is one of the jumpiest games ever.
There's a lot of good movement in that game.
Jumping off of like telephone wires and like grinding on roller coasters.
Maybe I just need to go play Sunset Overdrive. Maybe that's the dream game that I was looking for.
It sounds pretty good, actually. I might need to re-up Game Pass and download Sunset Overdrive.
If you just want pure fun, like just chaotic good time, that's the game. I mean, you could easily pick that up and play it.
All right,
great gameplay.
We'll start from the top of the list going down to 15, and then we'll decide where these two games are going to get placed. But from the top, at number 1, we've got Ocarina of Time, Pokemon Silver Gold, Jet Set Radio, Final Fantasy VII, Helldivers, hell yeah. Pokemon Red Blue, Shadow of Mordor, Downwell, Just Cause 2,
in the 10 slot.
Yeah, in the
Is
by Lacrimosa Donna. At 11, we've got Child of Light, 12, Tekken 3. 14, Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts.
Veto. Sorry.
And 15, at the bottom of the list currently, is Kingdom Hearts.
That's so funny. Kingdom Hearts is that low.
You can move it.
All right.
Is it though? Is it really that funny?
Yes, it's hilarious. Hunter,
I mean, the fact it's below nuts and bolts is objectively funny.
Yeah.
Hunter, with Sunset Overdrive, we've got it sitting at 17 right now. Obviously, that's going to move. Where do you think it should fit on the list?
This is tough because, like, it's hard when you're trying to help slot something into a list other people have kind of put together.
That's the whole point of the chaos,
that's the beauty of it.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Like, because there are games I definitely would put it ahead of here, but like there are other ones behind it that I would also put ahead of it. But I think if I'm looking at this, Sunset Overdrive to me would go at, don't really know down low. Like I was thinking at 9, like ahead of Just Cause 2.
Okay.
And I don't want to put it ahead of a game I haven't played, so I was thinking right at like number 9 is about where I'd fit that.
9 is a timid pick because I'm looking at the list and thinking 7 is almost, depending on what people think, between Shadow of Mordor and Sunset Overdrive.
Right.
I haven't played Sunset Overdrive.
I would say Shadow
saying,
of Mordor's got significantly more meat to it than Sunset Overdrive.
Okay.
I'd say 8 or 9 is probably the good spot.
Let's put it. Okay. Look, I'm up for compromise. I'm happy with putting it at 8 because I just haven't played Downwell, so I don't really know how to judge it against that. But I would personally prefer, I guess, to play Sunset Overdrive over Shadow of Mordor. But I know that everybody really loves that game, the Nemesis system. So I'm okay with it being behind it. So if y'all want to put it at number 8, that's fine. I also want to point out that every time I've come on the show, we've talked about East 8 every time. And the first time it kept getting brought up because I think Caden may have brought it up as like a pitch or something, and I actually I'm such a dumbass. I thought he was saying the word east, like the cardinal direction. I was like, is it east? And he was like, no, it's spelled Y-S. I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely how I would pronounce that. Oh, okay. Yeah. East.
All right, I think that's solid. I really like. I mean, hey, I'm never gonna shoot down a gameplay game, so that's
so
where
good.
I love seeing that in the top 10. Now this one, I know there's so much more love, and so I think you're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to really show us why. But this, I feel like this could be you're maybe looking for a podium spot.
I don't know if I want to take podium spot here. Just because I do agree that Pokemon Silver and Gold and Ocarina of Time are deserving up there. Jet Set Radio is an amazing game. I generally put Chrono Cross just slightly ahead of FF7 for myself. I don't know if that's where...
I doubt people agree with you.
No, I doubt they agree with you too.
In this panel, other than maybe Hunter, like, I don't care.
I don't care either.
It's like,
Okay.
It's y'all's list.
It's your list right now.
Let's throw it at 4 and move Final Fantasy VII back to 5.
Okay.
I think it's slightly above that. I don't think it's necessarily deserving of the podium spot.
Keeping it in the top 5 still, but very nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
I'm really liking this.
Before we make any adjustments, go ahead, Steven.
No worries. Just take the reins, Joe.
Okay, before we make any other adjustments, we've got Ocarina of Time at number 1, Pokemon Silver Gold, Jet Set Radio, Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VII, Helldivers, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pokemon Red Blue, Shadow of Mordor, Sunset Overdrive, Downwell at number 10. We got Just Cause 2 at 11. Ys Vi, Lacrimosa of Donna. I hate that game is on there. That is a terrible name. 13 is Child of Light. Tekken 3 at 14. Disney's Aladdin at 15. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts at 16. Kingdom Hearts at the bottom of the list, where it belongs, at 17. Now, here's the important part of this. Zach and Hunter, you guys need to make an adjustment to our list. What needs to move? Up or down? It cannot be one of the games that you guys have put on today.
Yeah. Ooh.
You want to go pure chaos
Lacrimosa,
pure chaos and just completely put something higher than it needs to be, or you can
just a simple switch for Kingdom Hearts.
I don't think I'm going to touch Kingdom Hearts. I'm kind of okay with where it is. It's hilariously accurate.
Honestly, if you wanted to, you could put Kingdom Hearts even lower on the list. For
just put it 18. Out of 17 games, it's 18.
If I was going to move anything, so we have Final Fantasy VII now behind Chrono Cross, right? So,
yeah.
I like Jet Set Radio. It's hard for me to put that game ahead of Chrono Cross and Final Fantasy VII personally. And I was an aggressive inline skater. Like, I did that. Like, I had like $300 pair of like Oxygen 2.0s.
You just like,
oh shit, that was Bob's game. I'm not shitting on Bob's game. Keep where it is.
You'll have 99 questions to answer about why you did that.
His opinions matter more than mine, and I'm not.
We'll stick Hunter in that pod and hit the escape button if we did that.
No, I felt bad having to follow Bob Yule after his Steel Battalion take, so I'm not gonna having to answer him again. And I feel like I'm creating a history of contentious behavior with Bob Yule, because like we also played the Draft Punk Survivor and Bob was on our team. He's the first person we voted off.
Oh, damn.
And the other side was
strong.
like, you voted off Bob Yule, and we were like, we were scared of him. We didn't want to have to.
And then Hunter made everyone scared of him, and then that came over to me.
Yeah. Yeah. We basically played ourselves out of it is what happened.
All
We don't know
right.
what we're doing.
What are you guys moving?
Do we want to move Yeast further down?
I would put Child of Light above Yeast. Child of Light is an excellent video game.
Okay, where do you
I'm
want
gonna start calling it Yeast.
We could also move Yeast.
Yeah, let's move east to the west. That is making
Okay, it's
south.
off the list.
Yeah, you can move East more south.
Okay,
south.
I'm gonna move it.
Do we want to move
first.
it below Child of
Okay.
Light, or we want to move it
Let's
down further, like below, like Banjo Kazooie? Put it right next to Kingdom Hearts.
I would put it below. God, Disney's Aladdin. Why
It's
is
a
okay?
great. It's a good game.
It's
because it was
crazy
Diamond
hard.
in the Rough was our
Yeah,
last.
That's a
was our last
frustrating
game.
ass
Oh,
game.
sorry.
I mean, it's
Disney's Aladdin. Sorry, Genesis.
Did Bob also recommend that one?
No, that was
That
Mateo's
was
game.
that was Mateo.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think we can move that then. Let's.
So you want to put
let's
it past Tekken 3, or put it past Disney Aladdin?
I would move Yeast between Tekken and Aladdin because I didn't like.
So
Aladdin.
you
I
want
liked the-
you
I
want
liked the
East at
animation, but that game
15,
was
or do
stupid
you
hard.
want East at 14? You want East at 14?
14. 14.
Yeah, we'll keep it
right?
14.
All right.
14.
Nice.
All right.
So, just as the list gets bigger, we'll just pretty much go over the key points now as it gets too big. But yeah, currently sitting as the 17th greatest game of all time. So, no one's gonna shout out Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, and then our top 10, which didn't move after our announcements with the Chaos round, we've got Downwell back in 10. So hey, it's hung on. So it's done 3 episodes in the top 10 so far, which is really cool. At 9, Sunset Overdrive. Shout out to that movement. Number 8, Shadow of Mordor. Number 7, Pokemon Red and Blue. Number 6, Helldivers. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Number 5, Final Fantasy VII. Number 4, Chrono Cross. Almost hitting at the podium and pushing Final Fantasy VII further down. Number 3, Jet Set Radio. You can't shake that Bob Buell fear. Like, you can't come for the king. And number 2, Pokemon Silver and Gold. And in the top space, Ocarina of Time, because we are so freaking original. That is GGDlist. Thanks to everyone for playing.
Those are good picks, guys. I really dig those picks. But Steven, I think we got a show we got to close out now.
We do. And yeah, I keep getting told that I'm hosting and I keep forgetting because I don't. So just going to go around the table for everyone's final thoughts and shout outs and whatever they want to say before we close out. Hunter, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, reiterate to anybody who might be watching this is not already part of this Discord. If you are like us looking for a place that comes with the hype, without all of the judgment, the toxicity, the negativity for the sake of attention, that kind of stuff, just good conversation, come join this Discord. If you're enjoying this show, come watch us over on GGD Guiden, where we rank things. Although what we're ranking, again, come join us because we're only listing off what it is that everybody here ranks. So the more people we have participating in that, the more people kind of get their picks up there, and we try and give them the love and attention that they deserve. That's about it for me. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed being hosted by both of you. It was great.
Nice. Zach, what are your final thoughts for this episode?
Just really same as Hunter. Thanks for having me on. Everyone, please come join the Discord. Come join in with us. I like seeing how many votes we're getting for stuff. It makes it really fun when we have people throwing random stuff into our GGD guide and stuff like the worm light getting into peripherals was one of my favorites. But just that. Also, rock on, dudes, and be good to each other.
Hell yeah.
Definitely. And any housekeeping, Jonah?
Yeah, so quick patron shout out. We have West Bates.
Sorry, I missed that.
Dakota Fall, Pucho, and Dan Giesland. Sorry, Dan. But we also have a new patron. Thank you, Aunt Jay, for joining the shout out tier. Shout out.
Thank you.
Just a quick adjustment to our patron feed. I know I said that at the $5 tier that we were going to have the early access behind the scenes patron viewing on our Patreon. We decided to bump that down to the $2 tier. So at our base tier, if you pay for $2, you have full access to our whole library starting from this year of all of our shows recorded, all of the main podcasts recorded on the Patreon feed, just for $2. Thank you, everyone, for your support. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah. So now he'll edit in, this happened earlier, you didn't see this. Thank you. Shout out to our patrons, Pucho, Dakota Falk, Dan Giesland, and thank you for a brand new patron, Aunt Jay. Like, massive shout outs. Definitely did this an hour ago. Yeah, I didn't forget. Thanks.
It's staying where it's at. I hope you know that.
Yeah, I know. I was just
and close curtain, fireworks.
I just wanted to give an that's it. I just wanted to give an extra shout out because I did forget. So, but massively appreciate you guys for supporting our show. And I keep on saying without further ado, because I'm just a terrible host, I'll just sign off there. Happy gaming, everyone.
Bye.
As always, a big thank you to our friend Misdriven for the music in our podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to check out more of what they have, you can pay them a visit on Twitter at MIST_RIVEN719 or on Bandcamp at Misdriven. Thanks again for tuning in. Till next time. This is funny. I only just noticed that Toad was back together again because he's not. Because I saw it in the back of Hunter's thing. I was like, you know what I should have done quickly is put my freaking amiibos in compromising positions. Like, I love that he turned around.
I did.